Center. That's the one on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, right?
Just look for the yellow signs. Your pedigree palace will be a reality in no time.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. 71 degrees. Temperature's not getting that warm today, only reaching 77. So I guess we got a little tiny dip before we get back into normal Florida weather. Right now, we have somebody on the phone who might be able to help you, especially if you have multiple sclerosis. Maybe you know somebody living with multiple sclerosis. Dr. Ann Bass is on the phone. She's the Multiple Sclerosis Clinic Director of the Neurology Center of San Antonio, Texas. And she's got some ideas that I think it's lifestyle changes is what it looks like as I kind of briefed myself on the notes that were provided to me. Dr. Ann Bass, good morning, Doctor. Again, now that we're on the air, thank you for being on the air with us today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Where are you in Texas right now?
I am.
How's your weather?
It is nice. It's in the 50s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had it nice yesterday, and it looks like it'll be nice tomorrow, but today we got a little bit of an overcast. We're not complaining, though. It's not like the rest of the country. You've got the rest of the country's got a really hard winter. It looks like, anyway. What is when we talk about people who have multiple sclerosis and things they can do to make their lives easier and better? It says here that if you start today, by the end of this year, your life will improve. So you've got some things that sound like they are lifestyle changes. Am I right?
Yes. So I think it's important for MS patients to get diagnosed as early as possible so that they can get started on their treatment to control their disease as early as possible. It is a very optimistic and a very favorable prognosis now for patients living with relapsing forms of MS.
And what are they? What are the differences between now and what was done maybe 2 years ago or more?
So I think now that we have effective MS treatment that can reduce the frequency of attacks. Attacks are basically when patients have a new symptoms of MS or a worsening symptoms of MS that can lead to more disability. We now can reduce the frequency of those relapse and slow down disability progression. I encourage patients to check out more about mstreatment.com, which is a website that basically outlines the different events, specifically talking about a treatment called Lentrada, which was approved about 2 years ago. That is really an amazingly effective treatment where patients can receive treatment 5 days the first year, 3 days the second year, and it can put them in some degree of remission for a long time.
Oh, wow. Even though medicine is a science, it seems like looking at the notes that the doctors have to almost treat this almost like an art in a way in this regard. In other words, everybody with MS doesn't necessarily respond the same exact way to the medications. Am I understanding this right?
Yes, that's an excellent comment. That is very true. MS patients present very differently. Some MS patients have several symptoms all at once. Others will have one symptom at each attack. So MS patients tend to be more females, 3 to 1 compared to males.
Oh, really?
So they actually present differently. In general, male patients with MS may have a more aggressive and progressive course, whereas females may have a milder, slower progressive course. So we have to treat patients as individual, and we do what we call a shared treatment decision with our patient, where we tailor the treatment based on their lifestyle, their expectation, their goals, their age range. So it can be very different at different times of their life.
Is it hereditary?
Excellent question. So we think that MS is a combination of different factors. I call it the perfect storm. So it is partially genetics, where there are some genetic misreading of the immune system, combined with certain environmental factors, maybe vitamin D deficiency, combined with exposures to certain infectious agent like the Epstein-Barr virus or the herpes virus family. So all of those things have to come into play in order to trigger what we call an autoimmune disease, in this case that attacks the brain and the spinal cord, which is what MS is.
Does somebody who is currently receiving treatment for MS, if they are questioning whether it's exactly working the way they want it to, and they don't say anything, is it possible that there's a way to tweak what they're receiving so maybe their reaction to the treatment would be improved? In other words, if a doctor doesn't know that it's not quite working the way you want it to work, he'll never be able to help you.
Very good question. So what we look at is we look at 3 parameters. We make sure the patients don't have a clinical relapse, let's say, for that year. Then we look at their MRI. It is the magnetic resonance imaging of their brain, the spinal cord. Make sure they don't have any subclinical signs of activity, such as a new MS lesion or a worsening lesion or an active lesion. And then we examine them and make sure they're not accumulating disability. So if all those 3 parameters are intact, we know that the treatment is doing a good job. If any of those parameters are broken, we'll have a conversation with our patient about what other options may be better for that particular patient.
If a woman is pregnant and then she's diagnosed with MS after her pregnancy is known, is that going to affect the baby?
Actually, the good news is that 98% of children who have parents that have MS do not get MS. So even though there are some genetic factors, it is definitely not purely genetics. And so we can optimistically tell our patients that if they have kids, they can certainly monitor them, make sure they don't develop signs and symptoms of MS, and then get diagnosed as early as possible. But 98% of those kids will not have MS.
We sort of have been speaking to the patient. Can you talk a little bit to the caregiver, especially the parent maybe of a child with MS? Are there things that would make their job a little more effective? Are observational skills needing to be tweaked? Are there things they can look for maybe that they didn't look for before?
Thank you so much for that question. That is exactly what we love to get this awareness out for our MS patients, but also for the care partners, that support network that MS patients should surround themselves with. So support groups, family, friends, spouses, significant others, the more they learn about the disease, the more they can walk and assist the patient with the disease throughout their journey with this disease, because ultimately it is a lifelong disease. It's very controllable and treatable, but it's something that the patients do have to live with for the rest of their life. There's no cure for this disease yet, so they have to manage the disease. So the care partners can be very instrumental in helping our MS patients, whether it's reminding them about appointments, helping them take their medications correctly, helping them with certain symptoms. Anything that they can do to be part of that patient's lives is so important.
Is it good for for a patient and a caregiver to keep a journal?
Yes. I think that I encourage all my patients and their care partners to basically write down any signs and symptoms that they want to discuss with their physician, because a lot of times they get to the appointment and it's very short and they can forget. That's part of the disease as well. They have memory loss. And so it's important that they are organized and that they actually have things that are documented so that their physician can help them much more effectively.
When we're talking about multiple sclerosis to somebody who's never experienced it before and they're questioning whether maybe their child has it, what should they look for? And this is almost like MS 101, but if you could just take a moment to explain that to the newcomer, basically.
Absolutely. So there's about 400,000 plus patients afflicted with MS in the U.S. and about 2.2 million afflicted worldwide. And so MS occur more in women than in men, about 3 to 1. It usually presents in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, but it can also present as late as in their 70s and as early as in their teenager years. So the 3 common symptoms that we look for are any kind of abnormal sensory function, such as numbness or burning pain or tingling. We look for any visual changes like visual loss. We look for any either muscle weakness or muscle incoordination, any trouble with talking, any trouble swallowing, dizziness, all these things that can be a presenting symptom for MS.
And can this be misdiagnosed as Parkinson's?
Actually, the good news is that Parkinson's look very different from MS, and it afflicts a much more older population. So we can make that differentiation, especially as a neurologist, fairly easily.
Doctor, thank you for being on the air with us. I think a short interview is a great way to pique people's attention. And websites and books usually fill in a lot of the unanswered questions. Can you direct us to a website or maybe even a book?
Yes, so I encourage patients to check out resources like with the National MS Society, the MSAA, the MS Foundation, the MS Cure Fund for a lot of educational information and resources. I mentioned more about mstreatment.com as a way to learn about a new exciting treatment called Entrada with its both efficacy and balancing that with its risk. So any of these resources are very good for patients with MS and those that are taking care of patients living with MS.
All right. The website again, more about mstreatment.com. That's the website Dr. Ann just said. Dr. Ann Bass, thank you so much for being with us today. That was very useful information.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Oh, you're welcome. And we will be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Thursday, we'll see clouds and a limited sun. Look for a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon with highs in the upper 70s to low 80s. Thursday night will be mostly cloudy. It will turn cooler with a low of 46 in the northernmost part of the zone to 62 in the south. And for Friday, a breezy, less humid day as clouds give way to some sunshine, the high 69 to 73. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hey, this is Matt Wilkerson from Verizon. You work all day, right? So why would you want to spend your night out shopping for that new phone? Well, Marion County, let me and Verizon help you out. I can deliver to your home or office, saving you precious time. Phone, tablets, internet, home phones, even accessories. Whatever you need, we will deliver free of charge. Call me at the store, 352-528-0020. That's 528-0020.
Leprechaun Soft Wash is the roof washing method that is safe and effective on shingles, tile, metal and shake roofs, vinyl, wood, aluminum, hardy board and stucco siding, driveways, pavers, and the list goes on. Leprechaun Soft Wash is fully insured and uses biodegradable cleaning products. Plus, Leprechaun Soft Wash offers a spot-free warranty on roof cleanings. Call 751-2325.
No more blimey roof stains with Leprechaun Soft Wash. 751-2325.
Here's a 30-second news brief from The Source, WOCA. A man was shot dead in front of a home in Silver Spring Shores early yesterday. A Walmart worker was stabbed to death by a former employee in Orlando yesterday morning in the store's parking lot. Tallahassee Mayor Andrew Gillum announced his intention to be Florida's next governor yesterday. And Atlanta Braves spring training is in full swing at ESPN Wide World of Sports in Kissimmee. The Braves play the Red Sox tomorrow. And that is your 30-second news brief from The Source.
This is James Snyder, inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
Want to go exploring with all the comforts of home? Discover the best of both worlds at the Ocala RV Show, March 2nd through 5th at Florida Horse Park. Thursday through Sunday, discover loads of RVs, great rates. Win 2 $100 gift cards every day, no purchase necessary. Adults $5, kids under 16 free. Thursday, buy one admission, get one free. Sunday, free admission with blood donation to Life South Community Blood Center. $2 off for military and first responders each day. It's the Ocala RV Show.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 572-2510. That's 572-2510.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
When it really counts, depend on The Source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Radio gets results.
We'll get advertisers just because they saw the success of the help we gave to a nonprofit. That's what I like.
The Marion County Literacy Council.
Vets Helping Vets, the Arnett House, Habitat for Humanity, and what goes around comes around. So many great advertisers have chosen WOCA to advertise their services and their products simply because they saw the power during a public service campaign.
Radio gets results.
Hospice of Marion County has an urgent need for volunteers to share a conversation with someone, run errands, hold someone's hand. All you need is a willingness to help others. Our volunteers believe the blessings they receive far exceed the services they offer. Will you consider serving, caring, and making a difference? Call today, 873-7441. Hospice of Marion County, making more moments of life possible.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Thursday, we'll see clouds and a limited sun. Look for a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon with highs in the upper 70s to low 80s. Thursday night will be mostly cloudy. It will turn cooler with a low of 46 in the northernmost part of the zone to 62 in the south. And for Friday, a breezy, less humid day as clouds give way to some sunshine, the high 69 to 73. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Whether you're just starting out in your career or ready to make a change, being a commercial pilot is within your reach. The FAA has predicted that in the next few years, the number of planes in the sky will double, and that means a lot more jobs in aviation. Ocala Aviation has teamed up with an accredited university, enabling you to get a college degree in aviation while training to be a commercial pilot. And with options like financial aid, grants, and scholarships, it's never been a better time to get your new career in aviation started today. For more information, call me at Ocala Aviation, 352-861-7484.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala!
All right, Robin. I love the job that we do here. And I love the guests that we talk to here.
Yeah.
But I have a special place in my heart for guys and ladies who are going to tell me about traveling. Because the problem is we're always here, and I want to get out and do stuff. So you know what I did? I signed up for one of those things that gives you alerts for like cheap airfare.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was going to like tell me, okay, if you book a flight in November, we can get one for $69 to New York or something like that. It does, if you go tonight. There's no lead time. I got to find out how to do this. Maybe our next guest could help me. Dave McNamee is on the phone. He's the director of corporate and consumer communications for Expedia Travel. Robin,
nice.
I got some really good deals, by the way, using Expedia when I went to New York.
Oh, wonderful.
No. When we went to Chattanooga, that's when I used it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Good morning, Dave. How are you?
Good morning. Very well, thanks. How are you?
Good. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New York City.
You are? Nice. See, this is my next... I went in October. I grew up there, and I just love going back. So, how's the weather today?
We're in the Empire State Building, and it's a little windy.
Oh, my gosh.
Close the window! Does Expedia offer a service where I can get alerts that there are cheap fares, like a special going on with certain airlines, that kind of thing?
Yeah, there's a great service to sign up for. So if you have an Expedia account, we offer this thing called Scratchpad, where if you're looking for flights or if you're looking for hotels, it'll track that for you, and then as those prices change, it'll alert you whether a price goes up or down, and then you can share it, and it'll so you can send it to your friends or family, and if you're doing it on your phone, it'll log that search, and then it'll transfer to your laptop if you're looking on there. So
wow, I just,
good thing to use.
I'm really new to this because, to be honest, I haven't gone very far in the last 10 years doing this job. But Expedia, we went to Chattanooga and we did get some really good deals on some rooms. That part was outstanding. But we drove there, so we didn't use Expedia for airplane travel. But I'm guessing you cover that too, right?
We do, yeah. You could have booked a rental car with us and probably saved some good money.
Oh, wow.
Do you handle hotels and airline flights all over the world, or is it just the United States?
All over the world.
So what are the special travel tips for the springtime that we can learn about?
Yeah, so I think knowing when to book is a great place to start. We partnered with a group called the Airlines Reporting Corporation to take a look at some of the data and to determine the best days to book airplane tickets. And that's something everybody always wants to know.
Yes.
And in general, we found Sundays yield the lowest average ticket prices. And then from there, we looked into how far in advance a traveler should book. And in general, the magic number is 21 days out.
Oh, 21 days. Okay. And If you wait longer than that or shorter than that, does the price go up on both sides of that, or is it 21 days or more?
21 days or more are generally pretty good. My tip is that, always start with a budget in mind. And if you are looking, farther than 21 days out and you happen to find a flight or a hotel that's within that budget, your best bet is to book it. As long as you're comfortable paying that price, why risk a change later on?
Yeah.
We just finished the Daytona 500 race this past week in Florida, and now the spring breakers are on their way down. When we use your service, are you able to tell us what kinds of things are happening like the Daytona 500 or spring break, so we won't be surprised?
Yeah, spring break's obviously a big travel moment for us this year, and whether you want to head to those party locations or if you want to try to avoid them, the good news is there are a lot of opportunities to save this year. So, whatever you have in mind for spring travel, we've got it all.
What is the what is new as far as Expedia is concerned? Are the apps on the phones the way to go, or? Rob and I are kind of old school. I'll speak for myself. I'm kind of old school, so I'm always using my computer. But I know my son, who's 30, he'll use his phone for everything. Is that maybe the better way to do this?
The app is definitely a great place to start. The Expedia app offers flights, hotels, car rentals, and also packages. And packages in general are a great place to save. The simple act of picking your flight and your hotel together, that can save up to $600. I actually just booked a vacation to Europe with my wife on our phone with the Expedia app and saved up to $900.
Where are you going?
Wow.
Where are you going? I want to go there. I want to go to Europe.
We're going to we are going to the Netherlands. We're actually going for a friend's wedding.
Really?
Oh, that'll be fun.
Netherlands. Isn't that just a pretty name, the Netherlands? Didn't Michael Jackson have a place like that? That was Neverland.
Neverland.
That was,
Do you help the first time out of the country travelers with information about getting your passport and things like that, since that seems to be a really needy thing right now?
Yeah, we do offer information for travelers on our site, for tips on, how to prepare for that. And then also, a good rule of thumb is always check with the State Department for information about, the destinations you're traveling to.
Give us some travel hacks. It says here you have some travel hacks. I like that word, hacks. Things that'll make it a little bit easier or a little bit or maybe cheaper or smoother.
So a good insider tip that we have right now is the single step of signing in or becoming an Expedia Rewards member. You can unlock this thing that we call member pricing. And what that will do is that will offer hotel deals of 10% or more on more than 70,000 hotels around the world. So quite literally, just signing into Expedia or becoming a member of our rewards program, you're going to be able to save an additional 10%
really?
On a decent number of hotels all around the world.
So how do I do that? How do I become a member? What do I just sign up?
Just head over to Expedia.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, you'll be able to sign right in. And then you can also check out the Rewards tab and sign up for our rewards program, which is also a great place as well.
Are we able to book the hotels and cruises and flights and things like that, and then have a pay-as-you-go plan for this, or do we need to pay everything up front?
It depends on what you're booking. For hotels, we do offer some flexibility in terms of whether you want to pay up front or if you want to pay at the end. It's dependent on where you're booking and how you're booking. But we try to offer as much flexibility as possible for customers.
How reliable are the hotel ratings that people leave on websites? I mean, if it says 5 stars, is that reliable? I've often wondered that.
Yeah, it's a good question. On our site, we have a thing called verified reviews for hotels. And the way it works is you can't review a hotel unless you've actually paid and stayed there. So the reviews that you find, whether you're looking at hotels in New York or Chattanooga, those are all from guests that have actually stayed. So you can trust in knowing that it's coming from a verified source.
All right. Well, I have used Expedia, and I hope to use it again. I have on my bucket list. In other words, before I die, I want to go. I want to go to a few places. Have fun in the trip to the Netherlands. That really sounds beautiful. What time of year are you going over there?
We're going this September, so it'll be fall in Europe, and we're looking forward to it.
Oh my god!
Oh, that'll be beautiful.
You know, between us guys, that sounds romantic, doesn't it? I know women don't care about romantic stuff,
Yeah.
but just sounds. I'm just teasing.
Yeah, my wife doesn't care at all.
Dave, thank you for the good ideas. Expedia.com is the website, of course. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The Attorney General pushing back against calls for him to step down by Democrats over previously undisclosed meetings with Russia during the president's